And this morning, a family is mourning the loss of their 23-month-old boy who was shot and killed by someone while this family was driving on 880. California Highway Patrol says the victims may not have been targets and just hit by a stray bullet. The city of Oakland currently has 676 police officers. That is the lowest level in more than a decade, and it is below the threshold for retaining Measure Z funds. Now, that measure is a partial tax approved by voters in 2014 and helps pay for fire and violence prevention services. City leaders have different ideas on how to address this shortage in officers. Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf says her plan is to immediately hire 60 officers, including 20 positions that are currently frozen in the city's budget. Former U.S. Senator and presidential candidate Bob Dole has passed away. He was 98 years old. Kim Brines has more on his life and legacy. President Joe Biden signed his $1 trillion infrastructure bill this morning. He's calling this a major win after the House finally passed the bill last night. The deal will create jobs along with improving broadband and water supplies, along with other public works. Daria, I was just listening in. It was pretty heated already. You could hear the court actually challenging the health clinic there from Mississippi. They were saying it seems like this is political because you have people who are presenting this case when the court is now leaning more right. And they said, we fear that if we do change this, people are going to think it's political, and then the court won't have any credibility. And we're getting into the heart of the holiday season. This is a live look at SFO, and after nearly 2 years, a lot of families are planning to reunite this year. Exciting, but this also comes as COVID cases around the country and the world are already starting to see a spike in cases again. More than 50 million Americans will be heading somewhere away from home for Thanksgiving, and a lot more of them will be flying on crowded planes this time around. Air travel is expected to be up 80% compared to this time last year. But on a good note, vaccination rates are also beginning to rise again. The uptick in travel has some folks feeling a sense of normalcy despite COVID-19 safety measures really still in place. Neighbors actually in Santa Rosa, they got quite the wake-up call Friday night. Dozens of cars spinning out in donuts in a neighborhood intersection. The problem is widespread across the Bay Area, as we know, and despite efforts to really crack down, many people say they're getting the same response when they call police, when they go to report it. KRON 4's Philippe Jagal has the story. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday for the KRON 4 Morning News. We all got an hour more of sleep. I'm Sara Stinson, feeling a little bit more well-rested today. Welcome back. Of all the cute things dogs do, the head tilt, you know, the little might be the cutest, and a new study is shedding some light as to why they do it. According to scientific journal Animal Cognition, researchers say, look at that, say the head tilting in dogs may be related to processing relevant and meaningful stimuli. 8:40 on this Sunday, and now we are talking about Bay Area sports. The Golden State Warriors played against the San Antonio Spurs at the Chase Center last night. If you missed it, here's what you need to know. San Antonio jumped out to an early lead. They were up by 15 at the end of the first quarter. The Warriors would come back and take the lead in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't enough. San Antonio would rally, go on to win by a final of 112-107.